morning. So it is officially the first day of medical school that isn't orientation. So I have an intro to my problem-based learning class, or PBL, bright and early this morning, 7:30, and then we have our actual PBL session and a few other things that I will find along the way. This week should be relatively calm because it is just like a getting us ready, sort of easing us into medical school type of class, making sure that we're familiar with all of the different classes and things like that. So they're definitely easing us in, which is nice. But let's do our PBL small group.
Focusing more on not
So day 2 of real medical school, and I was on a break, so I went and got a coffee. But today we did our personal goals, and now we're going to learn about integrating the biopsychosocial model.
I'm looking at the scores.
I'm prepared to these sessions, and now you know what they're like. I mean, you didn't know what these were.
All right, more dirt.
Day 3 of first real week of medical school. And so yesterday we have most of our assignments out of the way. Because Monday night we had 2 assignments due. There was like a core values worksheet, and then also like integrating the biopsychosocial model, like paper essentially. Yesterday we had our sessions on core values, or like creating our personal goals and values, and then we had like a little quiz that we worked on as a group about integrating the biopsychosocial model. And so now today we will have our PBL groups. So we did PBL, or problem-based learning. We had our first session on Monday. So this is how it's gonna work every week, where on Monday we'll be presented with 2 cases, and as a group we'll come up with the learning objectives for those cases. And then Wednesday we'll review one of those cases, and Friday we'll review the other. So we have PBL 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. And so we'll be doing our first case today. So we had to do the research. We all had to do the research for that first case to answer the learning objectives. So that's what I'm heading to now.
And give the feedbacking pieces to the builders. Builders and guys, keep your eyes closed. Yes, go ahead. No, same people. Exact same people.
So coming to you live from outside the airport, waiting to pick my mother up for my white coat ceremony. But I figured this was as good a time as any to sort of just recap the week. It's Thursday today. This was our last day of like actual classes, and we have our first exam tomorrow, although we've been told multiple times by different people not to study for this exam because this class is just like a preparing you for medical school type class. And you'll see what I mean when I just sort of like run through everything all together of sort of like what our classes are. But essentially we reviewed on Monday, we got our intro to our problem-based learning, which I know I talked about that before. And then we had an intro to sort of the pillars of our curriculum. And then on Tuesday, we did personal vision and uniting the biomedical with psychosocial approaches. And then we got an intro to our sort of like patient-centered care class. There's a lot of acronyms, so I was about to go off on a bunch of acronyms, but that doesn't mean anything to you all. Hardly means anything to me yet. So we got an intro to like our clinical care class where we had a standardized patient come in, and we got to interview them and just learn how to write a history of present illness and sort of get a chief concern and elicit that from the patient through patient interviewing. So honestly, that was really fun. We have a group of about 10 people that sometimes will split into 2 groups of 5. And then a couple of us will get to interview the standardized patients when they come in. So this past week wasn't my week, but to interview, but it was still really fun to watch. And on Wednesday, we did our PBL, like our second PBL of the week. So we were reviewing the first case and the actual answers to all the learning objectives. And then we talked about health systems and just sort of systems thinking and things like that. Today, we learned how to receive and take feedback and how to ask great questions. And then we had a brief intro to critical thinking. I was about to call it clinical thinking, but that is not what it was. It was critical thinking. And so then our day was done today at around 12:30. We've started every day at 8, just to give you some like time ideas, but we were done today at 12:30. I think our day that has the clinical practice skills is the longest day because that goes until 4:30. So we're there for like pretty much an entire like work day, 8 to 4:30. But today was a fast day. So tomorrow we will only have our second PBL, or problem-based learning, where we review our second case. I guess it's our third this week, but we're reviewing the second case. And then we will take our exam, just sort of covering some of these more introductory topics. Not introductory in like the typical way you would think of introductory for medical school, but honestly, I'm really, really thankful and really enjoy that they included this, because we're talking about burnout and compassion fatigue and how to recognize those things and what resources the school has for that. And we're, learning about just sort of the basic curriculum in a very structured way that we're learning about that curriculum, not just sort of throw you into the fire and learn as you go. And talking, intro to critical thinking and asking questions and things like that, setting your personal vision and goals. Like, I think those are just all things that are really, really important that get left out of medical school. So very, very excited. And my mom's calling me now, so I will go pick her up and we'll have my white coat ceremony tomorrow.
I shall work with my profession to improve the quality of medical care and to improve the public health. But I shall not let any lesser public or professional consideration interfere with my primary commitment to provide the best and most appropriate care available to my patients. To the extent that I live by these precepts, I shall be a worthy physician.